Now we are going to the fourth part of the video lecture on module 1. In this part we will be discussing on different types of sensors being used for the automation. Here we are discussing about different types of proximity sensors. Proximity sensors are available different types as optical, inductive or capacitive. This is the basic principle on which it is working, that is optical principle, inductive principle or capacitive principle. The general arrangement of a proximity sensor. A object you want to sense, if it is falling within the distance that is specified by the sensor, it is getting monitored. If it is going beyond that rated sensing distance, you can't sense it. So, if the object is coming or falling within the range of the proximity sensors, you will get a required output from them. More details we will cover up in the next slide. So, this is the general arrangement. In this case, you have specified a distance. If the object is falling within the range, the output voltage that is getting generated by this object is 0.44 volt. So, here this graph shows different types of object that is falling within the distance. What is the output voltage that is getting generated? In the graph you can see that as the distance keep on increasing, here for example 80 centimeter, the voltage is given is 0.44 volt. Whereas if the distance is, if the object is coming near to that sensor, you will get more voltage for the sensing purpose. So, the sensor can be defined as an electronic device that measures the physical quantity or produces signal relating to the quantity being measured. You want to have a quantity to be measured that is measured as physical quantity, or correspondingly you will produce a signal from that. So, sensor convert an input signal is converted to output signal. A sensor acquires a physical quantity and converts it to a signal suitable for processing. It can be optical, electrical or mechanical. The physical quantities can be either temperature, pressure, light, etc. Now we will try to differentiate between a sensor, transducer and what is an actuator. Transducer is a device which converts one form of energy to another form. Transducer will convert one form of energy into another form, whereas sensor converts input is physical quantity and output is some signals. It can be electrical or any other type of signals. The same time, actuators, what it does is, input is electrical and output is in physical quantity. So, actuator for getting a record, for example, in the case of electric motor, electrical energy is coming as the input and the motor rotation, that is the physical output that is happening. So, transducer convert one form of energy into another form, whereas actuators accept energy and produces the movement. Different application areas of proximity sensors can be a car. In a car, reverse sensing mechanism. Here, a bottling plant, a Coke bottling plant. Using a proximity sensor, the bottles are monitored. Here, we can see in a shopping mall or in a house, a door opening and closing. A person is coming here, it will be sensed using the sensor, then door will be open. A moving object, it is detecting the front using some image sensing equipment. Proximity sensors working on inductive principle. Basically, it is being used to detect metallic object. Here, we use an electromagnetic field to detect the conductive target. Sensing coil in the end of the sensor is used as the probe. But the working is, when excited, creates an alternative magnetic field which induces small amount of eddy current in the target object. Eddy currents create an opposing magnetic field which results the field being generated by the sensor probe coil. So, sensor probe coils are coming here. The interaction of the magnetic field is depend on the distance between the sensor probe and the target. Basically, it is inexpensive, but requirement is it requires a conducting target. If you continue the explanation from the previous slide, the working principle is shown by a schematic diagram. You have got a target to be detected. Basically, it is a conductor type material. It should be a conductor type material, and the coil, a magnetic field is created, and because of magnetic field interfere with the target, and eddy current is getting created, and a feedback is getting. That feedback, in the proximity there is a feedback circuit built in that will identify whether the object is there or not. So, now we come to the capacitive type proximity sensors. Basically, these capacitive type proximity sensors are used where we are having objects in non-conductive type of material. The sensing surface of the sensor probe is electrified plate. The sensor electronics continually change the voltage in the probe surface. The amount of current required to change this voltage is measured, which indicates the amount of capacitance distance between the probe and the target. This is the basic work principle. It is basically used for non-metallic material, for paper, glass, liquid, cloth, etc. The working principle of capacitance type of proximity. So here we can see a fixed metallic block, a moving tube. This is the moving tube represents the object to be measured. So displacement in either direction. If this is moving in this direction, capacitance is increased. Moving away from this coil means capacitance is getting reduced. The principle is in capacitive transducers, the value of the capacitance changes when there is a change in the input parameters value which is to be measured. This change in capacitance is measured and calibrated against the input parameter value. So we can measure the input parameter using this capacitance type transducers. The capacitance type sensor in another type, plate type. Here we can see instead of round shape, it is plate type. So this is a fixed plate and this is a moving plate. As it moves in this direction, overlap is more, so the capacitance is increasing. Moving in this direction, capacitance is decreasing. So you can measure the displacement in either direction. Capacitance type of proximity sensor, the working continue. Here we have got a proximity, it's a round shape. The area of sensing, A is pi r square, is a guard ring in the bottom. There is a gap D. So capacitance can be measured in terms of this area A omega divided by D. D is the gap. So each term is explained here. So the target is located at a distance air gap of D. So this omega is dielectric constant of the gap media. Here in this case it is air. If it is some other media, you have to take the dielectric constant of that media. So we can measure the capacitance that is developed between the target and the proximity as C is equal to A omega divided by D. Here we are showing a capacitive type proximity with dielectric constant changing. So this is this displacement you are going to measure. Here because this material changes, this dielectric constant between this plate changes. There is a top plate and bottom plate. If it is moving in this direction, we call it as capacitance is increasing. Moving away means capacitance is decreasing. So as I told you, as the material keep on changing, this dielectric constant is changing in this type of proximity. Capacitance type proximity can be further used for measuring the angle or rotation. So this rotation of this plate, this is the object to be monitored. So this rotation of this plate over a fixed plate. Whatever, as we keep on rotating, the overlap is keep on increasing. So the angular displacement, you take XY axis, angular displacement is shown in this direction and the capacitance developed is shown in Y axis. So as the angle increases, the overlap is increasing, so correspondingly the capacitance is increasing in this direction. So some of these are all different type of capacitance type sensors. Different application area of the capacitance sensors are level control of the liquid and solid, pile up control, monitoring at hazardous area environment, high temperature environment, high pressure washdown environment, feed hopper level monitoring, small vessel pump control. These are all some of the application areas. Now we come across other type of sensor, temperature sensor. There are basically two types we are going to discuss here. One is RTD. RTD stands for resistance temperature detector. Another one is thermocouple. Both are used for high temperature application. Each one will be seen in the subsequent slides. So thermocouple. The thermocouple, the basic law on which thermocouple is working is if two different material A and B, here in the figure which is shown, a material A and material B are connected as in figure with a junction and a voltmeter. There are two junctions, junction T1 and T2. So AB junction T1, AB junction T2, two junctions, and it is connected by voltmeter. Then if the junction is heated, the meter should show a voltage. If two junctions, if there is a temperature difference, one temperature you keep it low, one you keep it at high. So this temperature difference will create a voltage here. This phenomena in physics we call it as Seebeck effect. Seebeck effect. So basically these two junctions are, one is cool surface, one is hot surface. So the explanation continue. Here we have a two material, two junction. The bottom figure clearly explains. So if the exam is a schematic is being asked, better you produce this figure. So two material, we have got two junction. This is the junction to be measured, and this is the reference junction that is being kept at 0 degree centigrade in an ice bath. So there is a temperature. This is the junction you are going to measure. If it is in high temperature, with respect to this low temperature junction, what is the temperature difference? That temperature difference will create a voltage. So we will connect a voltage measuring device here. You can monitor a voltage difference. Thermocouple can have different type of construction. First one is called grounded type. Grounded type. Here at the tip of a grounded junction probe, the thermocouple wires are physically attached to the inside of the probe valve. So this probe, here it is to the wall, probe wall which is attached. That is what the grounded junction. Whereas in a ungrounded probe, this is the ungrounded probe, this junction is not connected to the probe surface. So what happens is here, because it is not connected, it is not directly, this is the area where you are going to measure. So there will be a response will be slower. Response time will be slower in this case, ungrounded type. There is a third type, that is exposed type. You are directly taking the junction to the outside. This is called the exposed type. So here this is having limited use because we can use it in a dry or non-corrosive environment only. So this is the common type of thermocouple junction that is used. What are all the things we have to consider while selecting a thermocouple? First one is the temperature range on which you want to make a selection. What is the temperature range you are going to measure? Second case is chemical resistance of the thermocouple or sheath material. If it is in a corrosive environment, suitable thermocouples to be selected. Third point is the abrasion and vibration resistance. Where the environment is abrasive or vibration, so accordingly you have to select the thermocouple. Fourth one is the installation requirement, because wherever you want to use this thermocouple, it should be compatible with that particular application area. So existing equipment, putting that thermocouple, if there is no hole exist or concerned hole diameter is not sufficient, accordingly the suitable thermocouple to be selected. So that is what the installation requirements. So different temperature application and different type of sensitivity requirement, you can go for different type of thermocouple material. Here in this table it is showing this is the basic structure, two material, two junctions, and what are all the metal that is being used is shown in the material column. Here you can see platinum and rhodium. Two materials are platinum and rhodium. On that case, it can measure up to, this is the thermocouple, it is having a maximum range of measurement 0 to 1800. You have to compare. In a molten steel or cast temperature running around 800 to 900 degrees, almost the double the temperature you can measure with this type of thermocouple. Sensitivity. So 1 degree difference in temperature it is showing the voltage, the sensitivity is shown here. 3 microvolt is the voltage you can measure. This is what the measurement sensitivity, this column. So on that way, if you take, this is more sensitive. It is 63 microvoltage per degree centigrade centigrade. The material used is chromal and constant iron. The temperature range is minus 200 to 1000. In this case, you can't go for the minus. Here you can go for the negative temperature also. Again, sensitivity also, it is higher. So this is all the other different type of material that is getting popularly used for making thermocouple. Next we come to resistance temperature detector, or normally referred as RTD. What is the RTD? The RTD use the phenomena that the resistance of a metal changes with temperature. There are certain material which changes its resistance with the temperature. That property is being used for the RTD. However, they are linear over a wide range and most stable. Mostly compared with the thermocouple, it is a stable measuring device. So schematically it is represented. You have got a resistant element that is wind around a ceramic bobbin. This is the resistance element which is going to change its resistance according to the temperature. As the temperature changes, resistance of this wire is keep on changing, and that is being enclosed in a protective casing. And what is the difference? Through using a platinum lead, you are taking it outside. What is the monitoring is from this lead. Some of the advantage of platinum as RTD, the temperature resistance characteristics of pure platinum are stable over a wide range of temperatures. It has high resistance to chemical attack and contamination. It forms the most easily reproducible type of temperature transducer with a high degree of accuracy. So the accuracy level can be from plus or minus 0.01 degrees centigrade up to 500 degrees centigrade, or it can be from 0.1 degree centigrade up to 1200 degree centigrade. So some of the advantage of platinum as RTD. Some of the limitations of RTD. These are resistive device. So accordingly you have to allow the current to pass through the sensor. Even if it is a small current, it can create a certain amount of heat and thus can throw off the temperature reading. This self-heating in resistive sensor can be significant when dealing with the still fluid. In the case of still fluids, there is no flow. So whatever temperature it is rising, it will be there. If there is a flow, on that date it is fine. So this problem does not arise in the case of thermocouple. So wherever stagnant water and all you have to measure, this can create this problem. This temperature creation can create problem. This slide shows the comparison of thermocouple and RTD. So certain advantage and disadvantage are shown here. So here we can see in RTD the temperature variation is like this, whereas in thermocouple after some time the variation in voltage is happening in a higher scale. So because of this, it is character is stable. So it can be RTD can be more stable and more accurate and more linear. The measurement resistance change is almost linear, whereas here there is a variation. wide temperature range is happening. Okay. Now we'll go for another type of temperature measurement device called optical pyrometer. This is called optical pyrometer. Here actually the detection, the surface color, temperature of a surface changes, the color of emitting radiation also keep on changing. The color changes. This is an objective we want to measure. As the temperature keep on increasing, the color is keep on changing. That you can detect using an eyepiece. This is what this schematic it represented. When a body is heated, it initially becomes darker, turn to orange, and finally attains a white color. The actual temperature measurement is based upon the determination of the variation in the color of the object. So this is what it is schematically represented, the object to be measured. Through an eyepiece you are watching it. So in the filament, a light is on to that and you are observing it. What is the color change that is happening to the object? Accordingly you can decide what is the temperature variation it is happening. This is called optical pyrometer.